I mean, you can milk anything with nipples.
Says who?
I have nipples. Can you milk me?
Go ahead, Fokker. Milk the cat.
Okay, well, upon JP's influence, let's have a roundtable discussion about how many nipples we each have. No one wants to start.
Hi, my name's John Paul Hurley. I'll start. Is this
Hi,
Nipples
John.
Anonymous?
My name is
safe
Jake
here.
Anderson,
You're safe
and
here.
I have a nipple problem.
Hello, Jake. How many nipples you got under there, buddy?
What is it?
And please don't prove it.
You got at least 3 under the Wubba Lubba, right?
Bring them teeth here, boy. Bring them teeth here.
J Mike, I can't even tell if we're actually live or not because usually we have about 25 viewers by now. So that's strange, don't you think?
People are talking at this point. So
Are they?
I think
Are they in the chat?
They're in the chat.
Well, I just don't get
it
to
is
see how
happening.
many viewers we have, I guess, on this show. I'll just assume it's going to be good. Okay, well, carrying on from the nipple talk, perfect segue into saying that we are so extra live on the open bar. It's Tuesday. Boy, I don't even want to call it booze day, J Mike. I have had an exhausting weekend of several booze days. It felt like it was Groundhog Day and every day was booze day. So I just don't even want to talk. I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm going to let you run the show tonight. I'm going to survive in the background. Happy to see you. Happy to see everyone here. Good night.
Listen, I'm just glad you made it back safely. I'm glad you made it back. Came back. I'm sure that you were tempted to, I don't know, create a steel drum, shop on the beach probably or something crazy. I don't know. But anyway, everyone, welcome into the open bar. We are live. We are here. To everyone in the YouTube chat, thank you guys. What's cracking? And we've got a fantastic group of guests here. A couple first timers and the executive producer of the pod. We'll start there. Jake Anderson, how is the good life, my man?
I'm doing good. You know what? I wasn't doing very good, and then I put this new shirt on, and I just immediately started feeling better.
Y'all see what it is.
So for the people
My
listening
nipples-
on in
my nipples
podcast
are
form, would
relieved.
you like to elaborate as to what that shirt says?
It says wubba lubba chub chub. I didn't even say it right.
No,
Wubba?
you did not.
Sound very good.
Now I'm like psyching myself up. Wubba lubba chub chub.
We're getting
You're gonna
better.
have to plug. You're gonna have to plug the shop. I think.
We're getting better.
You give good effort. That's really all we can ask for at this point. Yeah, Jake is donning the brand new hot off the press Wubba Lubba Chub Chub open bar t-shirt for those that have not seen it yet. And we'll give you more details on how you can cop one. Shout out to Stompy, SFBA champion, who tweeted out a picture of himself rocking one of those the other day as well. To our next guest, first timer, long timer, the man from Hot Atlanta franchise, Mr. Kyle. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Feeling a little bit ashamed that I don't have a cool shirt, but maybe we'll get a chance to remedy that if I can come on next time.
Not allowed back on for a second time without purchasing an open bar t-shirt. Look, I didn't write up the policy. This is all J Mike's thing. I don't know what it is. He gets on people about the robot voice, with their microphones, the second time appearance thing with the shirts. I don't know. He runs things.
I actually
apologies.
may qualify. I may qualify for the robot voice too. It seems like all you guys have good podcasting equipment, and I'm just a man on an island here.
with ear pods, no less.
Yeah.
That's kind of a weird flex, but okay.
Kyle, what I know that from your Twitter bio, you are pretty much any and everywhere, but tell the folks where they can find your work and what you're actually up to.
Yeah, so I'm really working kind of on three different things quite a bit during the year. I work with Dynasty Football Factory and specifically work kind of in two areas with them. Both with I do some kind of I guess directing of the team of guys that do college fantasy writing, and then for those of you who are listening that are familiar with the Debbie Watch, I'm also a contributor to that group as well. And more recently, I've gotten a chance to get on with the Dynasty Command Center, and I do some, I guess I would call it consulting work with them as well, specifically focusing on Debbie prospects and rookie prospects. So this is a super busy time of year for me.
Well, that's what's up. The every time anyone ever even says the words Debbie Watch, I just immediately go to the podcast theme song. Like it's the first thing that I think of. It makes me happy. I have no idea why. But Jake, can we go back to your T-shirt for a second? Oh snap! Just in time to not miss introduction.
I was so excited. I thought he was going to go to the basement.
I was going to go to the basement to put the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
Hey.
This show's about nipples, okay?
It's progressing downwards, though.
Yeah, it's if you want to call it progressing, sure.
Regressing.
The last of our guests here, again, first time to the bar. You've probably heard him on the Dynasty Trade Calculator. Senior John Paul Hurley, what's cracking?
Hey, what's up, gentlemen and everybody? How's it going?
Pretty well. Tyler Gunther hits you in the chat with a "I'm here for JP." Yay!
That's why I jumped off originally, actually.
We have several questions.
Yet another weird flex we've got here.
Tyler's my boy. What's up, Tyler?
It's that Minnesota love. I love it. Just kind of keeps flowing.
It's pretty adorable, all the Minnesotans out there.
Oh, yeah. Don't you know?
Yeah.
So gosh darn snowy right now.
I was just about to ask how much snow you got sitting on right now.
Literally 2 feet in the last 2 weeks, and it's not an exaggeration.
That's gross.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
It snowed like a fourth of an inch, maybe in Austin. No, not even that much. Maybe an eighth, a 16th of an inch, and it melted.
Wow.
I wasn't even here for it.
I'm pretty good at measuring things a 16th of an inch, so that would work out nicely.
Yeah.
Don't ask why.
The good thing is they come in 16s.
Yeah, I'm just saying each of my nipples are about a 16th of an inch. So.
Wait, are we talking diameter, radius?
Yeah, it's diameter. I think I'm here.
I'm really intrigued about the circumference now. I'll be right back.
His nipples can sense snow when it's coming.
Despite what you guys think, I was not sent here to destroy your show. So I pre-apologize if I cross the line on things.
There are no apologies on this show.
You found a new home is what you found, JP.
There we go.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
I feel like it's been the talk of Twitter over the last day or so. Yeah, we've got to address it. Our main man,
I'm sorry, man.
Teats of all shapes and sizes, numbers even. Our main man, Nick Chubb, has recently, unfortunately, if some may say, has found a new backfield mate, one Mr. Kareem Hunt. Where do we stand with this, guys? Obviously, Kareem Hunt's got a suspension coming up. People have probably been selling their Kareem Hunt shares by the dozens, Jake Anderson. And where do we stand at this point with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb and that whole situation in Cleveland?
I feel like J-Mike's going to say not everybody at once.
You already know.
I don't think it changes much of Chubb's value. I mean, Hunt, I think they just picked him up because they thought it was a good organizational decision. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have more talent in that backfield. Chubb has some injury concerns or injury history. I don't know if it's concerns, but John Dorsey drafted him, so he's kind of his guy. I wouldn't be discounting Chubb. Obviously, it's not a great thing for Hunt. It's not a great landing spot. I think Hunt's value is starting to rise the last few weeks. We actually saw it go from like late first, early second type of value to actually starting to get some value back. People kind of hoping that he was going to land with the team. And then the Browns news dropped and everyone was just like, what the hell just happened? But I mean, it's also good that he's just back in the league. Like at least he's not getting X'd out of the league. So it's probably going to be a 1-year deal situation there in Cleveland. Who knows what kind of role he's going to have, but I don't think it really hurts Chubb all that much.
It hurts my Chubb a little bit.
That's understandable.
Kind of sad. I got a question for you guys. So I was chatting in a group chat, and a lot of us think that it could have been a defensive move because there was Kareem Hunt was tied to Baltimore in the division. Do you guys think that it could have potentially been something where they're just kind of playing defense to keep him out of the division and having to play against him?
Entirely. And with, I mean, not just the Ravens, the Steelers could possibly be in that mix too. I mean, I know James Conner's there and had a great year, but I'd imagine that deal was pretty cheap for the Browns for them to pick him up. So, yeah, absolutely. And that's not where the narratives end. I mean, I've seen things of that he's just kind of trade bait at this point and could be traded on draft day, or maybe not necessarily him, but Duke Johnson as well. I'd be surprised if Nick Chubb was on the trading block draft day, but I guess that could be a thing too. I mean, from all facets, but I have a feeling it's not going to last long. And I'm talking about Kareem Hunt.
The Browns are doing some cool stuff. I kind of feel like they're trying really hard to be Bill Belichick. The whole organization is trying really hard to be Belichick. They're doing like some cool, sneaky things, and we'll see if it works out, but I kind of feel like I get that vibe from them.
It just feels like
I don't really.
Hey, go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I was just saying I don't really know what to do. I feel like whenever you have these situations that jump up, everyone immediately wants to try to find like, where's the edge, where's the value, what do I need to do? And I mean, I'm just at the point where I'm like, I have no idea what's going down. I mean, I think at this point it's all speculation, which speculating is fine, but some potentially high value assets with all of their backs that they have going on right now. So I'm kind of, if I owned either guy, I would just be holding at this point, unless something just came across that was like, yeah, this is a slam dunk no matter what happens. So it's, and even going back to your question about the keeping away from other teams, I guess it really just depends on how much Dorsey and the team really cares about the PR hit that they were going to take. Because if it's only a defensive move, then you have to really care very little about what your perception is, from a media standpoint, because they're going to get hit about this, pretty consistently over the next couple months. So, I mean, that's the thing for me that's kind of like, I don't know. And maybe they just don't care, and it just was a savvy business move to keep them away, and then they got an asset to move now.
They're going to get hit. I get it.
It does. It doesn't help that the incident happened in Cleveland too. I think that's like the most interesting part of this is he gets signed in the city that this whole thing went down at.
Yeah, he's a native son too. I think he played his high school ball there.
Yep.
Cleveland's messed up, man.
I'm just really curious how it all works out as it pertains to once the suspension is over. Even if it is a defensive move, like, do they just not play him? Like, obviously he's got to see the field at some point, right?
That's probably what Cleveland's game plan is they're punishing him. They're going to sign him for $1 million contract and bench him.
And he's making more than his rookie deal would have paid him this year, which is that's fun.
That's John Dorsey looking out for his homie right there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get you a bump.
Yeah. I got you, bro.
Back to real quick to what you said, Kyle, about holding. And though I agree, I think that no one has an idea of what's going on. Like, I've seen so many opinions on Twitter, But just in a general aspect for fantasy football, dynasty fantasy football, whatever, like I think there is opportunity to capitalize on these types of things and take risks to be able, like Jake, you said, or J Mike was saying that Jake is selling him everywhere. Like, Jake, do you have a perspective as to think like you're just getting out from under the bus? Like, you don't even care if you're going to make a profit off of it. You get what you can, kind of thing. So yeah, you can totally, just feel that type of way of wanting to hold because you don't know the situation. But I think there's definitely some fruit there to grasp. With
I looked up the word hold in the dictionary, and there's a picture of Kareem Hunt. And the reason why is I sent out a couple tweets, and I asked everybody specifically, what would it take for you to sell Kareem Hunt on your team if you had shares? And the average person said a mid first. I sent another tweet conversely asking what would it take for you to buy Kareem Hunt? What would you buy him for? And everybody would buy him for a mid second. So if you're selling for a mid first, but not buying until you get a mid second, that is a hold. That is the biggest gap I've ever seen.
Yeah, and just going back to what Gabe was talking about, like Kareem Hunt was one of my most highly owned players that I'd rostered, and I hadn't made a deal at all offseason. I was just holding because obviously there was no steam, there was no value increase. And then over the last couple of weeks, for whatever reason, a couple deals just ended up working out before this incident or before he got signed. I traded him and Jordan Thomas for AJ Green in the league, and they're both contending squads. You know, knowing that you'll have a player giving you production is kind of the swing I was taking there. And then another one, I traded him and a 2020 second for Keenan Allen, and it's a points per carry league. So running backs obviously have a lot of value, but I mean, I was thrilled about that. I mean, that didn't feel like that much of a decreased value from even where he was. I mean, obviously not at his prime, but yeah, it wasn't like I was just trying to get out. It wasn't look like I was just trying to sell Hunt. It was just like these trades just kind of worked out that way.
Keenan gets a ton of carries too, so he's also got 6 nipples. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Again, bro, once it's more than 3, they're called teats.
That's a full transition. So
Teton.
Teton Allen?
I like it.
I think we found a title for the pod tonight. Teton. Man, that's so gross.
I know. I'm picturing a man with 6 nipples right now, and I don't like it. Go carry on to something else, bro.
I hope you don't mind if I'm going to teat that right now, actually. I mean, tweet.
That's so awful. That's so awful. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Yet to show y'all love. What's cracking, everyone? Peter Howard, hello, sir. Thank you for being first and being my everything and being Jake's side boo. Dynasty Outhouse, what's up, my brother? Aaron's back from after a week hiatus away from the bar where he was at an actual bar, he says. Yes, fair enough. Cheers to you, my man. Gunther's in the building, like we said. Brian Hard, the other half of the Trade Addicts podcast, my new league mates. What's going on? Who else is here?
You joined another league, J Mike?
Bro.
Oh, J Mike, we got to get updates.
Yeah, I've got a pick coming up soon.
I was throwing shade at Russ. He's like, why is Jake throwing me shade in this chat about a league he's not even in? I was just like, I know more than you do. So, like, I've been waiting to hear these updates on this startup here, J Mike.
Yeah, so and Codeman's in here too. What's up, Cody? And Bill Layton. What's up, Bill? We've got we've got essentially Traded Addict 6. He started up, and it's a bunch of names of folks that you probably already know from either various pods or various bigger leagues and such. It is 12 team super flex. It's tight end premium. And we are we're at the end of the 4th. At this point, so I had 102, ended up trading back for multiple picks later in the startup. And obviously the usual suspects tend to go, as you know, Saquon, Mahomes, the big backs, so on and so forth. So I get 106. I land with DeAndre Hopkins. Big fan of his. Ended up going Amari Cooper and Steph Diggs at the 2 and 3 turn. And then just now with one of my picks, I just took Dak after a giant run. So feeling pretty good about that start. I like that start. And I've got 2 more picks coming up in the next 6 picks. And I'm curious at this point. I think one of the people that I really like at this point is Jimmy Garoppolo. Just from a quarterback standpoint, because after him, it gets grisly. Like Sam Darnold, you start falling into like the Phillip Rivers if you still love him, which I'm a fan of Phil's. But yeah, it's going to be a really fun league. But yeah, that's where I am right now, Jake. How do you grade that start?
Well, that's a good start, man. I mean, if you're going to build around receivers, I think that's the way to do it. I love running backs personally, but if it's not a premium position, and what are the starting requirements? Do you know?
I can probably look it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, the only leagues that I really, truly, really value running backs are point per carry leagues. I mean, that's such a big bonus and a league winning upside there. But otherwise, I like that build, man.
That's what's up. And just in general from startup strategy theory, because this is startup season, what do you got? And I'm curious of this. What is the ultimate, if you're thinking of kind of building the perfect league, what is the ultimate startup etiquette? Like,
there is no etiquette. Yeah, no holds barred, man. Just let it go. Like I personally, I don't understand trying to govern like that many people. Like I know there's a lot of etiquette. Personally, for me, it's like why try to regulate that? Just whatever it is. Like if somebody can mess you up by saying something, then I don't know. I don't know if you had a good strategy to begin with.
What do you even mean by etiquette? Like, are you talking about like people conversing during the draft or something like that?
Yeah, well, so one thing for sure. So let's just say, for example's sake, there's I don't know, and it's not even for this league, but just in general, let's say there's a like 6-hour clock per se. Slow draft, obviously. Is it incumbent upon someone to have to make a pick within 20 minutes after they get on the clock?
Oh no!
if there's a 6-hour clock, or is it a case where like I'm just curious because we love to draft so much, right? We love fantasy, we love the startup, we love the excitement behind it, and then we want to rush through it. I'm just confused by it.
There's the reason it's a slow draft.
There's a reason why there's the
6-hour clock.
Exactly.
You can take 5 hours and 59 minutes. I don't care. There's a reason it's a slow draft. If people are getting all aggy, then make it a 30-minute clock. Make it an out whatever, but it's a slow draft. It's fine.
And I want to be clear. I want to be clear about my new league mates and trade addicts. I'm not.
I'm coming at them. Who are they, J Mike?
No,
right
that's
now.
The thing.
Tell me who complained.
They've been fantastic. They've been fantastic. I've gotten jokes from Jesse Reeves because it's Jesse Reeves. Shout out, Jesse. You're a turd. I love you, but you're a turd. But no,
you have to expect to be haggled, but like if people are seriously like calling you out about it, that's a different thing. Like I've been in startups where I bust balls about that kind of stuff, but like seriously, I don't really care. Like at least you shouldn't care. I mean, if it's a slow draft, it's a slow draft. Let people take their time and trades take a while. Like if you want to move down, it's not just like you have to send offers. Like you can't just expect offers to come in. So you have to take that time to send out offers, to communicate, and kind of just judge the room and the players that are available.
If someone in my draft takes 5 hours on a 6-hour clock, I'll give them one freebie. After that, I'm calling your wife. On clock 2, I'm calling your work. I don't play games with anybody doing that. I have never done a draft where I haven't pre-drafted. So I'm like a lifetime 6 seconds on the clock. I don't play games. I hate slow drafts. I would have probably never even gotten into fantasy if I knew that people did them. I can't handle them.
Oh,
I agree with you guys. I average, like, I always look at the bottom MFL pages to see like what the average draft time is. And my average draft time is about the average time I spend in the sack with my wife, under a minute, baby. And I'm proud of both numbers.
Baby.
Proud.
He said, and I am proud of both numbers.
Baby.
Oh, God. That's good.
Don't you think
I
it?
can't handle all my teats, man. What can I say?
No.
I mean, that just comes.
Is lit.
That just comes down to preference, doesn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, keep the teeth.
Wait. Preference of okay.
Oh man.
No, I've been known to be actually. I would like to flip the question. I've been known to be a little bit of a clock Nazi, just like you guys are talking about. What's your etiquette when you have like somebody who's like way too high strung, like after 10 minutes goes by and they're already on top of you and they're calling your wife and calling your work, just like you're saying.
I applaud them.
So, but Kyle, your argument is that it
Doing
needs to
God's
like
work.
that it has to be a pre-draft, or I mean I don't even do it enough, so I don't even know what they're called. Pre-draft pick, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That it needs to be a pre-draft pick versus, waiting the 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It has to be pre-draft.
I won't say it needs to be. I would prefer it that way. And I usually gravitate towards the other guy who's real uptight in drafts like I am, and then we just talk trash about everybody in DMs, like, what's this dude's deal? Does he even play? That's usually what I'm doing. But
Kyle,
no,
are you the guy that's like sitting there like refreshing, like on MFL, just refreshing every few minutes? Come on, make your pick. God.
Yeah, I'm that guy. I am not fun to be around. Honestly, no, like seriously, I have found myself like my home life, and I'm like, when I'm in the middle of draft season, I'm like, this has gone too far. Like I got to just cool off. But I don't know. I have
Kyle's
a tough
taking a
time
cold
with
shower. Hehe's crying in the shower again.
Right. Yeah.
But he's got the waterproof iPhone with him, just waiting. He's on deck.
Refresh.
Siri, update the league. How much
Siri,
time left on the clock?
make his draft pick for him.
JP, you got so close to the camera. I thought we were going to go Lady and the Tramp for real, bro.
Oh, get that spaghetti out, baby. Get it. Let's get it.
That's the real reason why you need to go to the theater, turn the lights down low, and it would just be real special.
Jay Mike, I gotta admit, you got the kind of voice where it would go really nice with the turning the lights down low theme.
My man. I like that.
Yeah. Slide over, Morgan. Why wasn't J Mac asking you to be the voice of his book?
I don't know. And I'm sure he could pay me a lot less than he'd have to pay Morgan Freeman to do it. But yeah.
Do you got a Morgan Freeman impersonation in there anywhere?
We were doing some pretty awful ones last week.
Dang, I missed it. I'm gonna have to.
I thought
would it be
somebody
weird?
had a decent one.
Would it be kind of like Inception, like if I went back and listened to last week's show while we're recording this week's show? Like a weird open bar Inception.
I think I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
When I was a little boy.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1. What else? We got a group of talented people. I want to hear some more impersonations.
Surely y'all got something.
That was a pretty good J Mike right there. I lit like 7 out of 10.
I've got it. I've got him nailed.
7 out of 10.
I'll keep working on it though. No, I don't have any good ones. Do you have any good ones, Hurley? I
got a couple. Some are local heroes, so they won't really quite work on this show. But maybe for Tyler Gunther, and that's about it. He'd be like laughing his butt off, and everybody else would be confused.
I'm from Minnesota. I would understand.
Well, maybe I'll have to leave you like a voice message on your phone, like a really creepy one. And it's Tom Shane, by the way. You'll know who that is. He's like a jewelry guy. I can do a Sean Connery, maybe.
Okay.
Are we allowed to curse on this show?
Absolutely.
All right.
Encouraged.
Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. I love Sean Connery. Rest in peace. I don't think he's died yet, but I'm just going to say that anyway.
We all gotta die.
It's inevitable, man.
Hey, that's a great movie too. Is that one of Nick Cage's best?
Oh, that's a great question. It has to be, right?
Nick Cage power rankings. Yes.
Oh God.
I'm definitely in for that.
I'm gonna pull up Nick Cage on Google.
Yes. Quick. We did drafts last week. Let's go ahead and have a Nick Cage.
Yes.
Nick Cage draft.
Real quick,
I'm in for this.
Yep.
I'm gonna pull up the order on how it's showing on the YouTube chat. And Hurley, you are the 101. Kyle, 102. I've got 103. Jake, 104. Gabe, bringing up the rear.
Oh God.
Nick Cage film.
Do you really think there's that many good Nick Cage?
Yeah,
movies?
man. This man is a national
the
treasure.
thing is it doesn't have to necessarily be, good. Like Nick Cage good.
Okay.
So it's all relative, is what you're saying.
Indeed.
Fact.
Well, this is difficult. This is more difficult than I thought it would be. I'm the 101.
Oh, this is easy. The first two picks are.
Want to trade back?
All right, I'm gonna go Saquon. Let's see, Nick Cage.
That could be arguable for him though. There are two like that stand out. I feel like above.
Yeah,
him.
there's two.
Can I just? I don't want to put too much information out there, but I'm stuck between Face Off, Gone in 60 Seconds, and The Rock. I'm gonna go.
You're missing one.
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Missing one.
I'm gonna go. Welcome to The Rock. At 101.
Very good.
I pre-drafted. I took Con Air with 2.
Yeah. Nice.
That's a pretty sweet draft time you got there, man.
That was one of my top 2 right there.
That's funny, man.
The funny thing is, while I was waiting to make my The Rock pick, Kyle was like staring at the screen, getting pissed that I haven't made my selection yet. And
Mike,
my wife is not gonna. Oh, Kyle was calling him. My wife said Kyle was calling.
Hurley, shut up. J Mike's on the clock. Let's go.
I'm sorry. Kyle's gonna get pissed and hang up from this call.
J Mike's like, I'm not sure. Does anybody want to trade into this spot? I got some stuff to do. I'll be back in a couple hours.
Oh God.
No, seriously.
Kyle's like, oh.
Anybody have a third teat for this pick?
I'll give you a second round pick of the Travolta movies.
As long as it's Be Cool. If it's Be Cool, I can dig it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Face Off.
Oh man,
I like Face Off is the clear delineation between the teardrop here, where it goes from like the if we're looking at the dynasty.
Yes. There was the top 3. There was the top 3
players, 40-some points.
This is like the 2019 rookie class right now. It's like falling off a cliff here.
That's amazing.
Damn, already.
Gabe, you're on the clock.
Am I?
No, it's you, Jake. You're
am I?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like this spot. Let's just pick a decent movie here, I think.
Well, I feel like all 3 have been like pretty good movies. They're not like I don't know.
Yeah, this isn't really classic Nick Cage, but I'm gonna go Kick-Ass.
Oh, yep.
See, that's like a good movie.
Have you seen the list of what the options are for good movies for Nick Cage right now?
I mean, we've about wrapped it up.
It was wrapped up already. That's why Kick-Ass was the
sneaky good movie though. He's one of the voices in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He's Spider-Man Noir.
Really?
Did not know that.
Was that good?
It was very, very good.
I really want to see that.
Solid. I wanted more of the other Spider-Men and woman, but I enjoyed it. It was a good movie.
So you've got only a few left here, Gabe, to choose from, or is it still Jake?
A few left.
He's been acting for like 30 years.
First of all, I think I would suggest that y'all see Mandy. That was one of his most recent movies, and it is absolutely insane. And it's like pretty good though. All I can ever think about as far as Nick Cage clips is from Vampire's Kiss. Have y'all ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
I don't
All right,
think so.
J Mike, we're gonna close the open bar early. Actually, you know what? I'll just find a stream.
Can we do Mystery Science Theater?
I think that was Tom Cruise, actually.
Tom
What was
Cruise.
that called? Vampires what?
Vampire's Kiss. Yeah, just Vampire's Kiss. Seriously, like it's absolutely insane. But you know what I think I'll go with is Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Solid choice.
It's that one's like a good movie, and it like
Classic.
really fucks with you. Like if you are struggling with alcoholism or anything, like I can imagine. I feel that people watching that would be like, I quit. that's enough. Wrap it up. I mean,
Just like that, we're done.
shout out to the all alcoholics out there. Thoughts and prayers.
Gosh, I really don't even want to talk about Antonio Brown.
Okay.
What's the chat say?
I mean, what is like? We already kind of knew that he was going to be traded. It seemed, and now it's just official that he's officially asked. But he like kind of already did. He just put in the paperwork, like he signed the lease. Like what?
I just don't understand. Like, what's the? I don't know if he thinks like this is the NBA and like this is like a power flex. Because what happens if they don't even trade him and he just goes back to Pittsburgh? That's gonna be mad awkward.
Don't get over it.
Is there any do you guys think there's any possibility that he does stay in Pittsburgh?
No. No, I think he's burnt up. I think he's just burnt up. At this point, it just seems like every opportunity he has to sort of like potentially walk anything back or kind of, be less boisterous about his position. He just isn't doing it. I mean, I suppose they could do whatever they want to do, but I don't know. I'd put the odds at really low that he ends up staying there.
Like, what specifically would the odds be?
If I were going to have to bet it that he was going to stay, well, now that I think about it from that standpoint, I'd need 3 or 4 to 1 that he'd stay, I'd say. So, I mean,
I think the Vegas odds were like 12 to 1 weeks ago that he would, like, as far as like what team he's going to be on. I think it was like 9 to 1 or 12 to 1, something like that in Vegas for him staying in Pittsburgh weeks ago.
I'm just saying, if you guys want to give me some odds, I want to make we're at a bar. Let's make some bets, right?
Yeah.
Do it.
Yes.
So I got $1. I got $1 says Antonio stays in Pittsburgh, and I want somebody to give me some odds.
When you say stay,
What are they in Vegas?
I'll give you 3 to 1.
I'll take a 3 to 1.
Pretty
That's my
generous.
cutoff.
Yep. I think that seems that's the implied probability of 3 to 1 is 25%.
Okay. Can we like shake hands through the webcam or? Okay.
I can't wait for a
us both to
$1 PayPal transaction to happen.
I will tweet that.
Just make sure you send it through friends so you don't pay tax on that.
Good call.
There you go.
Damn it, PayPal.
your wife coming up to you. Excuse me, John.
Hey, I got a call from Kyle. Something about your draft time, and then now this $1 you owe him. I don't know what's going on.
But you didn't select friends and family, so it was actually 66 cents. So nice work. Son of a bitch, PayPal. By the way, this segment is sponsored by PayPal.
Well,
Hey, last thing I want to say, Lord of War is actually a good Nick Cage movie. You guys seen that one?
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah, I like that one.
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, he's like an arms dealer. He's like a Ukrainian arms dealer. It's entertaining.
Interesting.
I have not seen that one. Ukrainian arms.
That's the Nick Cage bit. Like it's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Carla was the prom queen. Can anybody do a good Nick Cage? Is that even something that can be done? Not even Nick Cage does a good Nick Cage.
Exactly.
When you got close to the camera, you were seriously giving me that vampire's kiss as well.
I feel like it's more like impression physically. Like you just do like the crazy eyes.
Face stuff.
Oh, sure. Yep. Like the Gone in 60 Seconds when he's listening to Low Rider. He's like, let's ride. All right, Nick. That's what everybody said after that scene.
What was that? What's his name? I mean, what was that movie? Ghost Rider?
Oh, yeah. Probably really good, right?
Oh, my God.
I didn't see it, but probably really good.
I didn't see it either. Oh, it was just in his IMDb.
I think he did all his own stunts in that. Like, he was actually on fire, and many people were hoping that he was going to die, perish in the fire.
No, that was just his career.
Well struck.
What a beautiful metaphor.
So, Gabe, I think we did this on purpose the other day, but we chose not to talk about the Super Bowl at all. Is there any aspect of the game, or is there any aspect of all of it that we are wanting to acknowledge in any way, shape, or form?
Those were a lot of noises.
It's not like I wanted this, but I just anticipated it so much that Todd Gurley had some sort of knee issue that was a lot more major than what it was. Apparently, I'm just still a little weirded out by it. I mean, clearly it wasn't right, but I just still don't get it. I thought there would be something where he'd need to clean up the knee or some sort of strain, MCL strain, maybe is what it was. I don't know. But that, I mean,
probably just needed more rest,
right. Well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe it was the MCL strain where, that's typically dependent on the grade, that's going to be somewhere between 2 and 4 weeks. But I don't know.
Nobody else finds it weird that they keep saying, hey, he's not hurt. Hey, guys, I'm not hurt. Hey, he's not hurt. Hey, guys, I'm not hurt. And then McVay turns around and says, no, Gurley's not going to require off-season surgery.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he was like injured. He was hurt, and he wasn't where he's been. Like, he wasn't the player we were used to. Like, if you look at the metrics, like, he was the fastest player on the field, but he wasn't making lateral cuts like he used to. Like, and in a straight line, that's fine. But like when you have to make people miss and you're making cuts, like that's a different ball game than just being able to run straight, north south.
Jake, I'm just saying they told us 15 times over he's not hurt, and then they had the need to tell us that he doesn't need surgery. Like, why are you telling me he doesn't need surgery if you've been telling me he's not hurt?
Well, they probably just kept asking the questions about Gurley. It's like, no, he doesn't need surgery.
Yeah, his feelings were hurt. Actually, I'm currently DMing with Dr. David M. Chow, and he believes it's a strained teat that held him back. That really limits your lateral cuts.
Yeah.
Now, is this the fourth?
Was it a high strain?
It limits your lactoral cuts. My bad.
Oh, that was an easy softball there. Yeah.
Was it a high strain? Yeah, I don't know. That's a solid question right there.
Now, is this the fifth or sixth teat that we're talking about? Because
there you go.
It's really where things get hairy.
I got a question for Kyle. So, Kyle, you said you were super confused with the Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb situation. Are you more confused with that situation or the Todd Gurley thing that's happening?
I feel like we have more, like a bit more information about the Rams thing. Like, I think it's easier to trust Gurley than it is any of those other guys. I would kind of, at this point, strike it up to more as like, yeah, he was probably hurt to some degree, but I definitely agree that it was weird that he had to like go on and say a few different times that he wasn't hurt. And it's like, why are you saying that if it's a non-thing? And maybe he was getting peppered with the question, but I feel better about Gurley and kind of what's going on there. And I actually grew up with Sean McVay, so I anticipate that I'm going to have a lot of job offers forthcoming. So I don't want to get into the weeds here.
Yeah, you missed your window on that, buddy.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, man, I should have stayed in touch with him.
So you'd be more on the hunt with Gurley because he gives you a bigger chub.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Well said.
Wow.
So well done, Early. Gosh.
Early, just all over the the word plays tonight.
I wrote all these things down before coming on the show, so
I'm truthfully, I'm still so hurt that John Kelly isn't a thing that I can't even really talk anymore about the Rams backfield.
Same.
I can't even talk about that. Dang, Kyle, it's like that.
Yeah, it's like that. It's terrible.
Yeah, I'm still not over it either, Kyle.
I'm more upset about Chad Kelly. What the heck?
Oh,
yeah, that too.
Also, that's another.
And Jim Kelly, if you're a Bills fan, why not? Let's just go there.
Yeah.
All the Kellys.
Kyle's like, this feeling's way too familiar. It feels like somebody's on the clock right now.
Yeah, this is it. We need to keep it moving.
It is definitely February.
Kyle's like, next subject. Want to get the piece in? Next subject.
Yeah, Kyle,
didn't Gurley drop a little bit in drafts though?
Yes.
Where is he falling to? Like top 5 or so?
I've looked at a bunch of mocks. He was the
4,
emphatic
3.
102 going into it, and he's fallen down to like the 103 to 105 range, which isn't like, oh my God, but it's he had a stronghold on the 102, you know, and sometimes 101.
That is shocking.
I mean, would you guys rather have Gurley or Zeke on your team at this point?
Gurley.
Zeke.
That's a good question. Probably Zeke, I think.
I go Zeke, man, with the way Dak's playing, and man,
the way he got involved in the pass game too.
Right.
Yep.
That's the only thing that kind of clicks with me is just how many receptions he had this year.
Zeke is also like
that many.
Insane, like at least partially. So you don't know what could happen with that guy.
Yeah.
Like there's some trepidation with like taking Zeke that high.
Yeah.
That's why I'd go Gurley. Like I actually think it'd be closer to say like Kamara or Christian McCaffrey. Just because I feel like they're just safer, you know, like
See, but I've got Kamara like at the back of that pack of guys though, I think.
Do you?
I do. Yeah, just of those, what is that? Top 5? What is it? Gurley, CMC, Zeke, Kamara. Like those 4 behind Saquon. Yeah, I think I'd rather have Kamara the least of those guys.
I mean,
I'm on that. I'm with you there. Same.
I think I'd rather have McCaffrey and Kamara over Zeke.
Wow.
I mean, it's close. It's like it's same tier, I'd say. But isn't it funny? Like, there's like 5 running backs at the top of ADP now.
Oh, it's awesome. It feels good. It feels right.
In the day and age of the passing game, I mean, it all comes back to like these guys catch passes.
Yeah,
like they're such a weapon for winning championships.
Receivers still had a big year too. I mean, they came back. It was. I mean, yeah, running backs have been great the last few years, but the receivers actually propelled themselves back to where they normally are. Yet running backs are still at the top. I'm not with that. No.
That's why you trade back, right, J Mike?
There you go. Get yourself
the pre-draft trade.
Got to feel pretty good to get Hopkins at 106, though.
Bro, because truly, like I love DeAndre Hopkins.
You're gonna take him at 102.
And I wanted to. And Gabe and I had the discussion. What was it last preseason? I think, Gabe, where you're like, hey, there's one guy who's been sitting at the top of this wide receiver heap through all of the mess, and it was OBJ because that's Gabe's boy, and he's fantastic, obviously. But there's just something about Hopkins that I'm just a huge fan of, and then he goes out this year and he's absurd, and the whole no drops on you know.
I think he's the safest wide receiver to own.
I would flirt with the idea of having Devontae Adams as my wide receiver 1.
I wouldn't.
Ooh, that's
he had the wide receiver 1 season, like he was the wide receiver 1. He's got Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. He's got no other wide receivers on his entire team. The Packers are stubborn, so they're not going to bring in anybody. Yeah, so I just don't see that changing.
Lacks yardage, lacks receptions. Like he's not the hog, you know. Like he's not an elite target hog. He's not a monster in that regard. Like, I agree, his situation's phenomenal. And I think he's one of the safest wide receivers because he is attached to Rodgers for probably the next 4 years or so.
He was consistent every game.
And I think I understand he's in the conversation. I just wouldn't put him there. But I don't blame you. I couldn't personally put him there.
You can blame me. It's okay.
No, I blame you. I'm kind of pissed. Kyle, what do you think? Hurry up.
You should know, based on what I said, that I'm not investing much time in startups. So what I've done, and then we go from there. I don't have a huge opinion about any of those guys. I'm fine, really, honestly, landing any of those guys. But I will say my thought on Gurley specifically of that group. I feel less optimistic about him.
Ooh.
I'm not saying I'd put him behind them. I'm just saying he doesn't seem like he's trending up, and I can make a case for everyone else in that group trending up. Just because I guess I have that question in the back of my mind about Gurley.
Don't you think everybody has that question right now and that hesitation? And don't you think even if it's a small window, don't you think that does open up some window to buy him at least a decent amount cheaper than you've been able to the last 2 years?
Yeah, I just honestly don't know. I just don't know that I'm going I'm in a hurry to go 1-for-1 with any of those other guys. Right. I don't have Gurley on any teams. I have several of the other guys. Like, I love having, McCaffrey and Kamara. My best team, I drafted them both in a startup. And so, it would be hard for me not to win that league last year.
Very interesting.
Hey, Jake.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling up Google because I've got a terrible memory. Otherwise, I would have asked you right away. And I think my teeth hold me back from having good memory skills. But how many targets? There you go. How many targets do you think Davante Adams had last year?
Off the top of my head, I bet he had.
And you can just give me a rank instead. I won't force you to give me a number.
Okay, I'd say he was probably 6th in targets.
He was 1 target from being the first number 1.
Was he really?
Yep. Julio had 170 and Davante had 169.
Where was he in receptions?
Receptions 111, and he was what does that put him in 6th for receptions? So 2nd for targets, 6th in receptions. Yeah. 2nd for touchdowns, I think it is.
Yeah, touchdowns are always his jam.
God, Eric Ebron had 13 touchdowns. Unreal.
He had a passing and 2 rushing.
Yeah.
but what does just let's stick with Davante Adams just for a second. In terms of the changes that they've incurred in Green Bay, the changes that they've occurred in Atlanta, the changes that will be occurring likely in Pittsburgh, are any of those situations or any of those things give you pause on those guys at all?
Yeah, you're talking Antonio and Julio, right? Julio,
Davante. Yeah, I mean all those coaching all those coaching options, and even Juju. Like, we saw Antonio Brown and Juju be, I think it was 3rd and 4th in the league last year in targets, amongst wide receivers. That is, like, I don't know, the whole AB being out. Like, what does? I'm just curious how.
I think it's huge to see how Pittsburgh deploys Juju. Because if he starts going out wide now and then gets the team's best cornerback, like, he's such a natural slot wide receiver. It's not like I don't think he could probably play outside fine. I just don't know if his efficiency is going to be anywhere near. Now, he'll probably make up with it because he'll get more targets with AB gone. But I don't know. I've never been able to buy on. I mean, there's people talking Juju as a wide receiver 2 in Dynasty, and that's, for me, that's something I can't get behind. And it was probably like when I heard top 6, I couldn't get behind. So Juju's just a guy that I like, that I can never catch up with the hype.
Yep, good opportunity and maybe not good enough skill. He's got good skill, but
yeah,
Antonio is like elite.
Or the thing with me is, like, it's the same thing with Tyler Boyd. And I know the splits with when Antonio have been out, Juju's performed well. But, I mean, they've been small splits. So everyone said, or not everyone, but a lot of people said when A.J. Green got hurt, oh, Tyler Boyd's going to get even better. And a lot of times that's not the way it works. Like drawing coverage is a serious thing in this league. And when you have a target monster drawing coverage and you're the second or third option, I think that's a big advantage for you. And I don't see him, like you said, I don't think he has the talent to kind of put up AB type stats. I think a lot of people think he would.
Also think about who Antonio Brown has been opposite side from for however long he's been, the number one overall wide receiver, whatever. Like I'm like struggling to think of one that it came anywhere near of what Juju has done in the last 2 years. Like Darius Hayward Bay. Like, I mean, what? Sure, you have to. It helps to have Antonio Brown on the other side, but you still have to be good at football.
Oh,
and,
for sure.
And just the elite production that he has had over for how young he is. I mean, he is in elite territory here with what his future holds. I mean, it's really insane how those numbers project. So I don't know. I am curious how they use him. That is certainly interesting, but I don't know. The dude's a baller. I think he's going to be all right.
The one guy who I think really is going to benefit from the whole situation, James Washington. I thought you were going to say
Eli Rogers.
Yeah, maybe him too. Yeah, I think
Right.
James Washington, and even just looking at James Washington's skill set, I mean, he was, he doesn't have the prototypical outside receiver build, but that's what he played at Oklahoma State, and he showed he could beat plenty of man coverage and definitely be a vertical threat, good ball skills. So, I don't know. I think sometimes it's easy to just think like outside receiver is a team's wide receiver one, but I think that the data is starting to show that that's not necessarily the case. So I'm not saying they'd ask him to be, like their primary. I still think that'll be Juju, but I think Washington could really be a good buy this offseason.
I'm interested on what his real value is, because I think he's a little bit polarizing. Like I've already heard like he's worth a mid-first, and honestly, I don't mind because I'm down on this class, but it's funny, like he had the season he had and now his value has increased,
Yeah, I got an ultimate taboo dynasty question for you guys. And Kyle, I'm sorry to cut you off, man.
No, go ahead. Your question's better than my comment.
I doubt it. I was going to say something about teats, so you're probably wrong. It's the ultimate dynasty taboo question. It's the chicken or egg. So is Juju's success more because of his talent or more because of the system and Ben Roethlisberger? Kyle, you can answer first.
I think it's both. I think it's a combination of both things. And part of that just sort of comes from my process. I shared a little bit on the beginning of the show where, my background is sort of in college fantasy. And so I am much more concerned about the immediate opportunity and scheme that a player is going to be involved in than I am the actual talent. I really don't care if you're that good. If you're just going to get the ball thrown your way a bunch of times and you've got a good quarterback doing it and, the offense to be successful, that's more important to me. And so I guess that's sort of part of my like philosophy too, when I'm very malleable, like with my rookie rankings, for example, because I'm just really, really interested. You can be the best player and land in a bad spot. And then I just think you need to be, priced accordingly. I think sometimes that's not done as much. So for me, I think he has both the combination of he just has all of those things working for him. So I don't know. I feel pretty optimistic that he can probably come close to doing what he did. I believe in his ability, and I like that. I'm interested in having their wide receivers right now.
That's fair. And Gabe, we are right up against the, I believe, 60-minute mark. Yeah, we're right up against it.
I thought you guys were all about breaking rules now.
See, that
As
was
my brother would say over his bachelor weekend. I thought this was a party.
J Mike's throwing out the last call here.
Yeah,
Everyone's like, dude, I just want to go to bed.
Yeah, I don't know what you want from me, Gabe. You tell me to get it under control. You tell me you want to keep partying. Make up your mind, Devin.
I'm just looking for Pittsburgh wide receivers that have been relevant at all. That's what I'm trying to find right now.
Lima Swede, holla.
Hines Ward, baby.
Yeah, but no. Like Emmanuel Sanders is the last dude that was kind of like, all right, next to Antonio Brown.
What about Martavis Bryant and
Wallace?
his 50% touchdown ratio?
Yeah.
Mike Wallace, but Mike Wallace was kind of the one when Antonio was there.
Yeah, essentially.
Gabe, I was wondering when someone was going to bring this up. I wasn't going to proactively say anything, but I feel like we have to get it. We have to shout this out. And Aaron, the big winner here, and maybe Aaron should win a shirt for this. I don't know, Gabe, but Aaron is the only and the first one to notice that the Christmas tree is no longer over my left
Oh
shoulder.
my goch. Wow.
Sounds
Was it
like
there?
you-
Was it there last week?
It was not. It was not. What'd you say, Jake?
nothing.
What a friggin' jerk.
Your comment was gonna be better than my comment. I feel like that should Kyle's statement should be like the phrase of this show. That should be a T-shirt. No. Your question was better than my comment.
Anywho,
Well, that was. I mean, yeah. Would you say Aaron said that?
yep.
Shout out
And
there.
Logan.
Shout out there.
What's
That's
up, Aaron?
pretty okay. All right. Okay.
Observant.
Real quick before we do go, Kyle, to let you flex your college chops real quick.
Yeah, I like that we had Kyle on and didn't talk college or rookie
At all. Yeah. I don't know. I hope you don't hate us, Kyle. I hope you'll come back sometime.
I don't. I admire all you guys and your teats and the way that you guys embrace what you do. A
Fair
lot
enough.
of courage.
A lot of courage to come out
Takes
here
a lot
every
of
week
courage.
and do this.
Takes a lot of courage for you all to be who you are. I appreciate that. Gained a little bit of respect tonight for you guys because I had none before. So
Kyle, real quick, your favorite running back, wide receiver, and tight end of this class coming up. Just your favorite.
I'm gonna have to parse. I'm gonna have to give a couple not so fun answers. So I'm gonna give you two running backs, David Montgomery and Josh Jacobs.
bam.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a wide receiver who stands alone for me, and that's Kelvin Harmon. And then
Jake, in your
I
face.
am-
Jake, in your face.
And then I'm gonna go with a three-headed monster at tight end: Hawkinson, Fant, and Smith. I really don't care who will be my tight end one, whoever lands best of the three of them. But I know it's not fun to talk tight ends, but this is a really ridiculous tight end
Really
class.
good tight end class.
Yeah.
Best position group in this class, I think.
Yeah, it's really, especially kind of doing what I do and doing Debbie and looking forward. I'm like, man, there's more exciting guys in this class than I can make a case for in the entirety of college football coming up over the next few years. So it's a good group.
We just did a rookie mock, and it was a tight end premium superflex. I got Irv Smith at 304.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And Hawkinson went 112, which I thought was good value for him in the tight end premium with this class. But it was like, again, I was like, I'm going to take the one that drops. And then I took Nada at 404. Like the fact that Nada's like tight end 8 for a lot of people in this class is pretty crazy.
Yeah, especially too if you look at tight ends historically, like specifically if you look at all the tight ends who were ranked as 5 stars by rivals or whoever it was. I mean, it's that is the best. Let me say that is the best group that analysts have done in terms of forecasting a high school prospect to having NFL success. Like almost all of the 5-star tight ends out of high school have been something in the NFL. And so I think Nada is the only in that group that applies. And, he obviously didn't get the football enough, but I would love him at that spot if I'm drafting for real.
Yeah, his dad teated me and said it was a great pick.
John Paul, real
I
quick.
just realized you said teated. So funny.
Teat storm. It's been a teat storm tonight.
JP, when it comes to DK Metcalf and that picture that came out regarding his just absurd body, can you tell us the last time that your body looked like that?
I mean, his teats were really out there. So if we're going, are we talking about muscles or teeth?
Total package, specifically the teat action. That's what
Everything all
everyone's
together?
here for.
You guys are probably too young for this, but he looks like David Boston to me, man. We already had this happen once.
Oh, we've seen David Boston's legs. Let's not compare the two.
In fact, I'm going to change my
roided like shit.
Exactly. I'm going to change my Twitter handle to David Boston's legs, I think. Follow me on Twitter at David Boston's legs.
Then you have to do Melvin Gordon's legs too. So
Saquon's legs. Saquon's got some monster legs too.
Eyes.
Last time my body looked like that was 19 in the 70s. 70s.
I mean, when you put his picture up against your picture, I think that really we're splitting teat hairs. Really,
I want a side by side, JP.
I will agree to a side by side. Maybe I will put it up for a bet first. So instead of the $1 bet that I made with who did I make that with?
Kyle.
With Kyle.
Kyle, instead of our $1 bet, I will bet you a side by side with DK Metcalf of myself and DK.
I was just hoping that'd be a throw in.
I'm just gonna teat it right now. I don't need to bet.
I don't need the bet. He's just looking for a way in.
Exactly. Looking for an excuse.
Yeah.
You don't have to threaten me with a good time.
All right. So since we have Kyle here, I want to ask him too. So let's pick his brain. So we got his top. Let's get his sleepers for each group as well.
How sleeper we want to? How sleeper we want to sleep here? I mean,
let's just say after the first
guys.
After the first, let's say day 3 guys, or at least like
projected
round 4 or 5 rookie guys.
Okay.
And just to give you a quick heads up, Kyle, most of the viewership of our pod are other podcasters.
Okay.
And people who are extra nerdy into
cool.
Dynasty. So you're amongst friends when you want to get nerdy.
Yeah, awesome. 3 running backs, and I'm just going to kind of go like off the top of my head here. What I'm thinking of three running backs I'll be targeting pretty late would be Alexander Madison from Boise State.
Yes.
And then if I'm looking at 2, what I perceive to be kind of smaller pass catching backs, I'm going to look for James Washington from Washington State. And then lastly, Darwin Thompson from Utah State. Those are all guys that I think – I don't even know if they're being drafted right now. I don't really pay too much attention to rookie ADP stuff now. It's not going to look anything like it in a month. So those would be 3 running backs that I think are going to be available pretty late that I like. Madison is the one that I think has the most potential to like actually be featured. I think. Yeah. And then let's see, wide receivers. I know he's got all the character concerns going on right now, and he doesn't have the combine invite, so that's not good. But Preston Williams from Colorado State, he's a guy with day 2 talent that is going to be drafted day 3, and he's going to be late, 4th or 5th rounder in rookie picks, especially if it's early on. Another wide receiver, I'll go with Antoine Wesley from Texas Tech. I don't know if you guys ever get this way, but like you already have a player, you already see a player in a uniform. I already see him getting drafted by Cliff Kingsbury again, just because of their familiarity. And I think that you look at the season he had last year, like it had like 88 catches for them, scored a bunch of touchdowns. He's a guy that I think is going to be a pretty good riser. He's tall and thin,
he's
so
like
there's going to be a lot of people. 6'5", 200, right? maybe 2, maybe 2. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. His TMI, his teat mass index, but he certainly has a little room to grow in the chest, and so
it's the best episode ever.
ever.
And then let's see, quarterbacks. Don't take any of them that aren't drafted in the first round. Don't care about any of them. And then tight ends. Tight ends, there's a ton. I mean, I'll just say tight ends that I like who are going to be pretty low in the consensus. Dax Raymond from Utah State could be a pretty good sleeper.
Super athletic.
You mentioned Nauta. If he's available that late, I'm looking for him that late.
What do you think about Sternberger?
I love Sternberger. Yeah, he would be the other as well. I think he's
super physical for being like he looks like a wide receiver, but like he's pretty decent blocker too.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm glad you brought him up. He would have slipped through my mind, but yeah, he's going to be like a fringe top 5 talent for me. I actually have him.
Yeah, I think he's
I have him,
5 or so for me.
I actually think I have him close, like pretty closely grouped to the top 3 that I mentioned, like the big 3. But I think that he's not going to get as much money spent on him as those other 3 guys. So
Yeah.
I'd tear him back a little bit. But yeah, I like him a lot too.
Awesome. Any of you other guys got sleepers, rookie sleepers?
I
Any
cannot
positions?
sleep.
You cannot sleep? Yeah, that makes sense.
I cannot. Right. Yeah. No, I'm not going to bed till 7 a.m., guys. No, I cannot speak. I said, there's no way that I can dip into I can hardly sleep into a 5-round rookie draft right now. So I can't. No, pass. Give me the Nick Cage back.
Hey Jake, that mock that we did over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
So when someone like, I don't know, and I'm curious of your thoughts on this too, Kyle, but when it comes to somebody like Bryce Love, who was so well regarded last year before he came out, not that he was going to necessarily be a world beater, but someone who was as highly regarded as him, as productive as he was, he goes back to school, he gets hurt, and he comes out. Well, I think I took 408 in this mock.
So weird.
Like, right? Exactly. So how do you guys rectify a guy like Bryce Love when I don't know, he's wildly productive?
I mean, you're going to have to play the patient game. I mean, he might not get drafted. He might not play this season. So he might be on the outside looking in. And I mean, are you going to hold on to him all year? Do you have a taxi? I mean, that's going to be part of the questions that you're going to have to ask if you're going to draft him. I don't know if you're going to be putting a 3rd-round pick on him unless you feel like you're going to hold him. So I don't know. I wasn't a huge Bryce Love fan when the hype was going crazy in Devy circles. So I don't know how Kyle feels, but it was surprising. Like when I took Nada, I mean, Bryce Love was a guy that is there, name recognition, obviously, a guy that you would consider, but just I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of his future. I don't see him being a feature back in the NFL. So I think his roles is kind of limited there anyways. And then you have all these concerns. I think that's probably kind of like the proper value for him right now.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. He was never a guy that I was really optimistic about. I mean, I know that he was getting mocked in a lot of places, like a potential, like I think I saw him go in a few mocks, like like not rookie mocks, but actual team mocks where he was like going to the Eagles at the end of the 1st and stuff. And I mean, I thought that was wild. I agree with you. I mean, for me, if you're going to be a sub 200-pound back, you have to have a pretty impressive pass catching profile. He doesn't have that. The other issue with him is durability. I mean, he's tough as hell. There's no doubt about that. Like literally every game he played, he was bleeding out of a different part of his body, but he was staying on the field. So like, I love that, but there's durability concerns. And then I'll get real inside baseball here. And if you know anything about his background, he's actually like a really serious student at Stanford, and he's a pre-med and wants to work specifically with as a doctor to work with children with like really serious, illnesses and other things that they're sort of uncurable. So for me, I always believed he was going to be a one contract rookie running back anyway. Like he was maybe going to go and get his money, and then after that maybe move on to like some of the other things that he cared about in life. So there's just enough. There's way too many red flags for me. So he's not a guy that I've been interested in, and I don't mind it, I guess, at that price, but I'd honestly prefer, and I'm going to be well in the minority here, all of the backs that I mentioned earlier, Madison, Williams, and Thompson. I actually prefer all of those guys, and I know that's going to be a pretty contrarian opinion right now.
And which Williams was it that you took, or that you liked?
James Williams.
Mike's taking notes right now. James Williams.
Yeah.
And where did he play?
For whatever reason, Travion came to my head. So I don't even.
I'm not even joking on this. This is just too perfect. James is better known as Booby Williams.
His mama called him Little Teats, man.
No joke. So.
Little T. Williams. Hey, boy.
Oh, this is rounded out to form so well. I just
out.
let me say that he caught 202 passes as a running back at Washington State. It's the most any running back has caught, at least in the past 5 years.
Do you think he's like a James White type back in the
Yeah,
NFL?
I mean, much more prolific than James White was as a receiver at this point in their game. But I mean,
but it translates to the NFL.
I mean, here's the thing: if I'm watching the NFL playoffs, there were two running backs that made a difference to me. One was James White, and the other was Alvin Kamara. Other than that, I'm just kind of like, those are the guys that made differences that I think kept defensive coordinators up to scheme against. I just think the game's moving to that way, and I just, I think Williams is one of those guys that he's. 202 catches. That's more than the majority of receivers that are going here. And even though there are a lot of checkdowns, he's got a lot of skill too.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. Like, if you're not going to be a 3-down feature back in the NFL, you better be a damn good pass catcher. And if you don't have that, I'm not really interested.
And that's where.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's where I'm gonna pivot late in rookie drafts. Like, I'm not looking at anybody sub 200 in the first few rounds because you're just, aside from Christian McCaffrey or Shady McCoy, the percentages of a guy coming to the combine and weighing 202 or less and ever meaning anything in fantasy are really, really slim. And I think that, we may be getting away from that in a little bit just with the way the game's evolving and specifically running backs are getting involved. But for me, that's a big thing for me. So if I'm looking late in rookie drafts, I'm thinking, okay, who's going to be my guy that's going to be able to be my pass catching back and fill in on third downs at a minimum and be a mismatch guy, specifically in full PPR formats and stuff like that.
I got one more question. Like, I could talk all night to Kyle about rookies. What are your thoughts on Keyshawn Johnson?
I really like him. I mentioned at the beginning of the pod, but I'm working with Dynasty Command Center, and we released we're releasing like a 3-volume rookie guide and going through some of the players. And he didn't make our initial top 50. And so all of us got to pick a player that we felt should have made the cut and got to write about him. And so Keyshawn Johnson was the guy for me that I wrote about that should have made it. So I believe he did not get a combine invite. Is that
no,
correct?
he did. He did. He was listed as KJ Johnson.
Okay.
There was confusion there.
I felt less optimistic when I saw he didn't get a combine invite, but the fact that he's going to be there now, I don't think he's going to test particularly great, but he's one of those guys. It's easy to compare him to Davante Adams because they both played at Fresno State, and I don't think he's going to be that level player. Let me say that, but I just think he could be a pretty steady, consistent receiver, which he showed he could be, pretty much his whole career in college.
For me, he was like, I see him and I see Kelvin Harmon light, so I'm like, I'd rather take him in the 3rd or 4th round. He may even sneak in the 2nd, depending on draft capital, but I'd rather take him there than Kelvin Harmon at the top 3 picks,
Yeah, I believe that Kelvin Harmon will be a Davante Adams type receiver. It makes sense that we're kind of in agreement. We're mixing all those names around, but I believe Harmon can be like a player that's just super consistent like Adams, and if he lands well, I'm.
You think he's going to be a wide receiver too on a team? Sorry.
No, I don't.
Really?
I think there's only a handful of receivers that are better than him really in the NFL. I think he's really good. Yeah.
Say it again,
we have to wait 3 or 4
Again.
years for it to happen, like Davante Adams.
I think he's going to.
Can he drop down into like the 150s of ADP and get him in year 3?
No, he can't, because that would mean that he's not doing what he needs to be doing on my Devi on my taxi squad. So we need him to produce and right away.
Man, that brings a real genuine teat-filled smile to my face.
I'm just glad you're not lactose, J-Mike.
All right, Gabe. I'm glad you guys got to nerd out for a minute there.
Dude,
I'm that was fun. That was good to listen in on that, because I was certainly learning there. Thank y'all for that. What were you about to say, J Mike? Were you about to shut the bar down? Is that what you're doing? Are you threatening the patrons of this bar?
Man,
I want to hear Hurley's. I want to hear one rookie thought from Hurley.
One rookie thought.
About
Just
this
one
class.
thought.
He's
About
like,
this class,
what
a
wordplay
player-
can I use here?
What
It's
rhymes
coming.
with
You
teat?
know he's thinking of it.
Oh, teat. What
Funny enough,
player?
while you guys were talking, I was also taking notes, similar to Man Bun there over there. But I was also trying to find players that rhymed with teat. And the only one I could come up with, it was Marcus Teeterson.
There you go. Marcus Teaton. Speaking of
there you go.
failed Pittsburgh wide receivers.
No, I'm not too deep into college football, so I'm waiting for you guys to finish your work before I can leech off of it.
Can we go with
There it is.
Closure.
I don't even know if he meant to do it, but now I feel like everyone should.
That was his first incidental teat reference, and it was the best one of the night.
I just wanted to hear a TK Metcalf.
Oh,
Teat K.
All
So
right,
there you go.
That's
Yep.
good.
Okay.
All right.
That's
So
pretty good.
That's all I got.
Ty Teat Hill. No, that's bad. I'm getting tired. I'm sorry. I need my milk.
Even when a T comes out, I always think that it's not going to be any word but.
oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah.
So, J Mike, you want to get out of here, huh?
At least we're gonna end on a high note, right?
TK Metcalf 101. I'm here for it.
TK.
Wide receiver one.
I'm
Better
here
believe
for it. I see you, Peter Howard. Yes, Gabe. Get us out of here.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, what a great word.
Wow. Did we? I think we started at a relatively decent time tonight, as a matter of fact. So this has been a pretty good show, lengthy enough. Yeah.
80 minutes.
What's that?
80 minutes. Not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, and we take like 30 minutes to do an outro anyway. So hold on to your teats. Just had to do it. It's so hard to not do anything. So hard. Okay.
Ooh, hold on to your teats.
It is addictive.
We've got a real master teat on this one.
Yeah, it's almost like a yawn. Like everybody hears it and they just want to throw one in there.
Teats J. Hawkinson, Aaron just said in the chat.
TJ Hawkins.
TJ. TJ.
There you go. Why didn't we throw it to the chat for a bunch of suggestions? Dang it.
Aaron, thank
People
you.
are smarter than we are.
Guys,
That's
no
one
one's
of
been
them.
dropping any. J Mike, has anyone been doing anything?
Yeah, shout out Peter. Peter hit us with the TK Metcalf. Well, I said TK Metcalf, then he typed it out, and then seeing it just made me laugh even more. And then Aaron hit us with the TJ Hawkinson. Hawkinson. TJ Hawkins. All right, I'm done. Sorry.
All right. I don't even know what to say. But thanks, fellas. This was great. JP and Kyle, the first timers, the rookies, the 101 and 102 of this pod, purely just this pod. Don't get carried away. It was a blast to have you all on. Do go ahead and purchase a shirt so we can get you on again. Those are the rules. Again, in the contract with J Mike, not up to me. Because you are first timers here, I'll allow you to say something nice about yourself or maybe about your mother or my mother. I'm going to see her in 2 weeks, and Jake might even meet her. So you
Looking forward to it.
Lots of prayers to him too. Anything you guys want to say about my mom?
Kyle's probably calling you right now because you're on the clock.
Can you tell Gabe to wrap it up?
All right, JP, do you want to share anything about yourself, your new Twitter handle, where you do things? I know if you're watching the pod on our YouTube live version, you can certainly see that he is associated with DTC, and it is.
Yes, I'm changing the site right now.
Dynasty T calculator. Oh my gosh.
There's gonna be like milk dripping off of the little scale that we have in our logo.
A little nipple underneath of it.
The part of the scale that hangs lower is like overflowing.
There's like nipples all around it. Yeah, I'll say some things. So, question first of all, do you guys? I will buy a T-shirt so I can reappear. Actually, would it be a T-shirt?
Okay, now it's happening.
If you guys, honestly, if you make a T-shirt, I will buy one. I will guarantee you that.
Done.
Like,
I'm seriously already gonna go work on that.
I will Men's Warehouse guarantee that. I guarantee it.
Gabe's like, here's a final project. I've been working on it all night.
Yeah, I don't need to grade.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm at FF Hercule Teats. You can check out if you play Dynasty Fantasy Football and you like to trade, check out the Dynasty T Calculator on dynastytcalculator.com. That's all I got. I'm gonna let Kyle go now because he's probably got something better to say than me.
It's hard to follow that up. Yeah, I'm on Twitter at FranchiseKF. If you want to know more about rookies, check out the Dynasty Command Center Rookie Guide. We'll be dropping Volume 2 after the Combine. And then if you're into Devy and want to get up to speed on the next crop of rookies, check out Devy Watch and order it. We're going to be dropping profiles on, I think it's like 295 players in a less than a week. So that's what's been keeping me from doing anything else with my life. But yeah, check out those resources. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing, legitimate knowledge to this podcast for once.
Oh my God.
Jake, our EP. What's up, dude?
You got to give me a minute.
Okay. I'll let you close out the show if you want. You want to try to say wubba lubba chub chub one more time?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm spent, man. I'm just glad I'm not hawking up a lug tonight. Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Jake Anderson FF. I'm a writer and ranker over at DLF. I don't write very much, but I like to say that I'm a writer over there. I mostly rank over there. And then we do a DLF podcast called The Dynasty Crossroads with my man Peter Howard. We discuss players from a film and analytical perspective. And yeah, we do that once a week. As always, thank you, Gabe, for the fire intro that we now have on the Dynasty Crossroads. My man is truly special, truly talented. Really appreciate that, man. And J Mike, the host with the most, appreciate you. And Kyle, nice to speak with you, man. I know we used to work over at DFF together, so it's nice to put a face to a name. And Hurley, you as well, man. Nice to talk face to face.
Let's do it again.
Let's do that.
Yeah, man. All the best to you and Teeter Howard.
Oh no!
Zachary just said NFL draft teeter.
He's back.
What up, Zach?
Oh, Zach just chimed in at the last second, man. That's so good.
NFL draft teeter. Hey, question for you, Jake. Since you mentioned the intro, I need to. You can tell me on air truthfully, or you can tell me off air truthfully. What did you think of when you first heard chicken or crow on the intro? What did you think? Initial thoughts. What did you think? First thought. What was it? Or did you even hear that?
No, I heard.
Did you listen to the intro, or did you just slap it onto your pod?
I actually haven't listened to it yet, but I've heard it's fire. So I don't know about chickens or crows, but I'm looking forward to listening to it. No, I don't know if I had initial reaction. I thought it was fitting, man. I thought it was funny. I don't know.
All right.
I thought it was good.
Well, thanks for nothing. Anyways, I'm just fucking with you. Thank you for the shout out, and I appreciate making the intro for y'all, and shout out to Zach too for the other half of your intro run, because it's truly fitting to have like two that are kind of different sounding. So I think that's rad. J Mike, Do you have anything to share with this podcast of ours?
I don't.
Very fine February Tuesday evening.
I don't. The one thing I do want to say real quick, JP, when obviously you had no idea who I was, but when you first said that you were leaving the podcast, I cried myself to sleep that night, and I just want to let you know that this is a teat come true. I'm just to have you on our pod is a real treat. So
a real what?
A real what? You missed.
It was a real teat.
I'm sorry, man. I brought my.
That's the first time that got brought out.
I brought my teat-shaped bell out for that one.
Wow.
No, but seriously, I've been a huge fan of you and the show for too long now. So this is a really cool opportunity for me to be able to have you on. So thanks again to all of our listeners via podcast form. Thank you guys for checking us out again. Give us a rating on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you get podcasts, we are there, even on Spotify. Thank you guys for joining us. To everyone in the live chat who checked us out, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube. Never late, always on time. Appreciate you guys for joining us as well. And even Zach sneaking in here right at the end, which was fantastic. The Teat-Sit Assassin on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at JMikeCheck, at JMICCheck. Gabe's handle is at FFManBun. And on Twitter, you can find our show's handle, The Open Bar FP, as in fake pigskin.
Oh my.
That was a real rough one. I'm sorry. Gabe, take us home.
I just wanted to add to what you said about JP is he's just so fucking funny.
Now it's gonna go to my head.
Yeah, possibly. But number two, just everyone, I don't know. You can always sort of hear a podcast voice sometimes, and I think that JP's got one of those voices. Like you kind of always know who's talking, whether you actually want to listen or not. You do know who's talking. So shout out to you, JP. Shout out to all y'all. You do all y'all do good stuff in fantasy football. So, thanks. Wubba lubba chub chub.
We out.
We got the shirts. Go and find them. We put them in descriptions. We put them in our teats. We put them in our pinned teats. I don't know. They're everywhere. We have the store. I'm legitimately working like on the background, like while you are talking. I'm definitely doing that. So I can't wait to make J Mike's night. In about 30 minutes, he's gonna die.
Please share that with the group chat for this episode.
Yeah, I will. Okay. This has been great. We have a show next week, J Mike. Yeah, we'll go through John Travolta movies or something. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do Travolta, but I don't mind the top five, the random top five of things weekly. As it just kind of
made its way back. I like it.
Yeah, as the NFL is not really happening all that much. But the AAF is happening, and we didn't say one word about it. And we didn't talk about Trent Richardson's elusive 2.3 yards per carry average.
Berkovici.
Oh boy. Yeah, we'll come back with the AAF takes next week, I guess, which will be Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern. Shout out to all y'all in the chat. Shout out to everyone on the planet being people. That's pretty neat. Come and join us at the open bar next week. We'll crack one with you, whether it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic. We're here for you. Put your drinks up, fellas. Do that with me if you could. I don't care what it is, whether it's a fist or a teat or a drink. I don't care. We will see y'all next week. What? Did you say wait?
No. I said No.
Why did you have to do that?
Why did you stop?
Deuces.